I'm so excited, guys. It's a blessing to have followers, to have a YouTube channel. So I just want to thank y'all, as always, for tuning in. YouTube! What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again, guys, with another live. And today's live is going to be on starts and sits for week 7. So I got 6 or 7 guys. I also got a DST for you to start this week. That's more of a streaming defense. And some of these guys you might be able to stream. Some of these guys, you probably got them on your team. I'm never going to go up to like Drake May, B. John Robinson, Jamar Chase, George Kittle. I'm never going to talk about those guys. We know to start those guys here on Fantasy Good Sports. We start our studs. Unless you're in an 8-team and 10-team league, I'm learning that. For the 8-team leagues, I understand you have to make different start decisions or sit decisions. But yeah, guys, I got 6 or 7 guys for you today. This is cutting edge content. Hit the like button. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. And don't y'all know, I got a lot of people that know me, that watch my channel, that I'm family with. And when I say cutting edge content, they look at me like I'm crazy. They still doubt my channel, guys. And that's okay. But this is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is where you come to get those gems to win your leagues. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Rashid? I see you, Frizz. I see you, Tail Dog. I see you, MVM, in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They got some new features, guys. I be like looking at these features and see what the hell going on. Yeah, they got a lot of new features here. Okay. So, guys, let's get going. I'm going to go through these players, and then I'm going to get to everybody's questions. Make sure you flood the comment section. Flood the comment section. Whatever questions you may have for stars and sits. So, hold on real quick, guys. I got to get I'm missing some paper. There we go. Okay. Okay, so the first guy I'm gonna talk about is gonna be a quarterback, and he's my starter of the week, and it's gonna be Aaron Rodgers. Yes, guys, Aaron Rodgers. And let me look at my sheet real quick. I didn't write the team that they was playing. Right, okay. So this is tomorrow's night game. They're going against the Cincinnati Bengals, who's giving it up behind the dumpster. And guys, I'm going to come out with a series for DSTs. DSTs is giving it up behind the dumpster. They're giving it up behind the dumpster. But yes, guys, Aaron Rodgers is going against Cincinnati. And you might say, well, why are you streaming Aaron Rodgers? They don't really got that many weapons. They barely winning games. But listen, Aaron Rodgers is hyper-targeting DK. He's also targeting Darnell Washington, who is a sleeper tight end for this week, for week 7. Darnell Washington has had 5 targets at least the last 2 weeks. For week 5, week 6, he had 2 targets. I mean, he had 5 targets each of those weeks. So I think Aaron Rodgers has enough upside to score at least 2 touchdowns throwing the ball, and he possibly could go for more than that. So if you need to find a quarterback because your quarterback is on a bye week, or maybe he's not been playing well, I think Aaron Rodgers gives you a nice matchup dependent play. So I'm playing him. I'm also moving on to my wide receiver. It's going to be DK. I'm starting both of these guys. Now, DK, I know earlier 2 weeks ago, didn't nobody want to hear anything about starting DK, and I understand that. But DK now, guys, the targets is getting better. They getting on him and Aaron Rodgers are on the same page more than they was before. What's going on, Jay Moore? So DK, guys, I think it's probably going to end up being a top 12 receiver the rest of the season. So you want to make sure if you got DK, you start him. Now, it's an easy matchup, so most of you going to probably start DK this week. But DK is not matchup dependent. I don't care if he's going against Pat Surtain. I don't care if he's going against Sauce Gardner. You start DK Metcalf. And I told y'all that, and it manifested that way when a couple where he went against Denzel Ward, and he scored against Denzel Ward. Well, I don't know if Denzel Ward was on him, but it didn't matter, right? So that's why I'm always telling y'all to start your studs, because of those type of situations. All right, so we got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback starter of the week. We got DK Metcalf as my wide receiver starter of the week. Then I'm gonna go to my running back starter of the week, and it's gonna be Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco. Now listen, I told y'all this yesterday. I didn't draft any Isaiah Pacheco in any of my leagues. I didn't draft Isaiah Pacheco in any of my leagues. But now that he's got dropped, another man's trash is another man's treasure. So that's what I'm doing. I'm picking up Isaiah Pacheco to play him against this great matchup with a Rashee Rice coming back into this offense. So the reason why I'm willing to play Isaiah Pacheco now and wasn't willing to draft him is because I believe this team with Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy staying healthy, Travis Kelce being Travis Kelce, they're going to be in the green zone. And in order for Isaiah Pacheco to get his green zone touches, they got to be there. If they really getting there 14 points, 17 points, that's not going to be an Isaiah Pacheco game, because this is not a run-dominant team. But when this team is putting up 21-plus points, Isaiah Pacheco seemed to get a touchdown in those games when they scoring 21 or more points. So I believe that Isaiah Pacheco could get one rushing touchdown with 50 or 60 yards rushing, and that'll be good enough to give him a nice RB2 flex play start. So I like Isaiah Pacheco, guys. This is my running back starter of the week for week 7. Moving on to my tight end starter of the week is going to be Cade Otton. Yes, guys, Cade Otton. And they're going against Detroit. Yeah, so that's not an easy matchup, but Brian Branch, who's really, really good, guarding tight ends, is going to be out. He's missing this game because of the fight that he got in with Juju Smith-Schuster. But the main reason why I like Cade Otton, Ibuka ain't playing, Chris Godwin ain't playing. So that's going to be Sterling Shepard and Cameron Johnson. So all I know is Mike Evans going to play. I know Mike Evans going to get targets, but who else was going to get targets? Cade Otton and Rachaad White. So I think Cade Otton got a lot of touchdown upside this week, and I'm playing him in the flex, especially on the bye week, guys. And don't be scared to play tight ends in the flex on bye weeks if he's going to be getting a nice target share. Don't play any tight end in the flex. Make sure the guy is going to be destined for good targets and over 7 targets. And I'm willing to do that with Cade Otton because I expect him to catch 7 or 8 balls, at least, and have probably 10, 11 targets. So, yes, I love Cade Otton. Moving on, guys, to my flex play of the week. My flex play of the week is going to be Woody Marks. Yes, Woody Marks. Guys, just because he didn't have a good game 2 weeks ago doesn't mean that he's not going to have good games going forward. That game dependent. Nick Chubb broke off the long run. Why they going to wear Woody Marks out when if he gets hurt, they got to go back to Nick Chubb, who probably ain't going to be able to be healthy the whole season or don't have the upside or the explosiveness to make the safeties back up. Say they can throw the ball to Nico Collins and other guys, Christian Kirk. So I'm willing to go back to that well again. And hopefully when I pull up that bucket, I'm going to have some clean water. And guys, random food for thought. Shannon Sharp talked about getting water from the well. And I come from, my dad used to have to get water out of a well. I'm from the country too. But they said they used to put catfish in the bottom of the well to keep the bugs out of it so they could get clean water. Even though the catfish might have been pooping, they was okay eating catfish poop or drinking catfish poop, but they wasn't going to eat no bugs. So that was kind of interesting to me. But anyway, I think Woody Marks is going to be a good streamable flex play. If you got him on your team, guys, and you don't got a better situation or a better player, you can play Woody Marks and it's going to be fine. We got the super chat from the professor. That's what I'm talking about. The professor says, trade my Ted McMillan for A.J. Brown and R.J. Harvey. So the professor, hopefully, I like the trade. You're getting A.J. Brown when I know A.J. Brown going to get targets. Now, Ted McMillan is growing into a role. If you don't want to wait on Ted to be better, because he's going to be better as the season goes on, as they go through the quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, Tech could be a top 12 guy, but AJ Brown could be a top 5 guy in the fourth quadrant, because they losing right now. That tells you that they got to use their stars in order to make the playoffs. They not undefeated right now, where they can just relax. So I like having AJ Brown and plugging him in before plugging Tech McMillan and relying on Bryce Young. I'm not saying Bryce Young can't have the top 5 or top 12 season, but I know what AJ Brown has did 6 or 7 years since he's been in the league. He's been a top 5 guy almost every single year as a wide receiver. And then you get an RJ Harvey, who is a premium handcuff, who can take over and beat out J.K. Dobbins, who has never played a 17-game season. So I like the AJ Brown side. Good trade, bruh. I like that trade. Yes, sir. Okay, guys, and I'm going to my sleeper of the week is going to be Darnell Washington. So if you want to plug him in as a tight end or a flex play because you're in a 16-team league or a 32-team league, whatever you may be in, you can play Darnell Washington. Like I said, if you go back and look at his game scripts and his stats, he's been targeted at least 5 times the last 2 weeks. So I'm not telling you to play a dart throw. This is a guy who's been getting some targets at the tight end position. And last week, I think he was the second leading receiver outside of the running backs, right? It was DK, and then it might have been one of the running backs, and then I think it was Darnell Washington over any other wide receivers like Roman Wilson. So I won't be surprised if they trade for a wide receiver because they need somebody else outside of Darnell Washington. Okay, so guys, let's get through some of these questions. This is what y'all came here for. Sean Bond says, what's good, brother? I have Stafford. Would you rather have Young or Dart as a backup? I would rather have Dart. I would rather have Dart as a backup. Rashik, what's up, bruh? He says Fields or Stafford. That's tough. Stafford has no Puka. That worries me a little bit. So I'm going to go with Fields. I don't think neither one of those guys are better starts. It's tomato. It's kind of tomato. Like both of the guys are kind of low end guys this week. I don't like playing Stafford without Puka. Devontae Adams, could he go for 2 touchdowns? It's possible. I would say Fields for the rushing upside. That's the only reason. Stafford has a low flow. They could struggle. They could lose this game. Let me see. Let me see. Rams, Tennessee, Kansas City, Minnesota Jets, Denver. Okay, yeah, the Rams are going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry, I couldn't find it on my sheet. Guys, Jacksonville defense is pretty good. It's a top 5 defense in the NFL with no Puka. So I would say Justin Fields, but I think you should go and find somebody else to stream outside of Fields. I wouldn't touch Fields. I would go to the waiver wire and stream somebody. Rashid says Mason, Oden, or Seahawks tight end. I'm going with Oden over Mason. I'm going with Oden over Mason. What up, Frizz? Rashid, he says flip Kelsey for Walker for running back depth. Was that good? No, I don't like Walker. I don't think he's going to be there for you the way you need him to be for the trade. Now, is it okay? It's a solid trade. Yes, Walker will give you some okay games, but I think you can reach for a little bit more than that. I would rather have a rookie like a Travion Henderson before I go to a Kenneth Walker, who's giving me something right now. But we got 8 games left for the season. We got 8 games left for the season. So I don't feel great about Walker staying healthy for the rest of the season and giving you some upside games. The team is playing well, but is Walker going to really give you what you need in order to win a championship, get into the playoffs? I don't know. Tail Dog, what's up, bruh? MVM says, please pick one for my flex. Jameson, Harrison Jr., Pearsall, Vidal, Travion Henderson, or Harvey. I don't know if Harrison Jr. is going to play. If Harrison Jr. is active, I'm playing him. If he's not active, I would go with Vidal. But it's close between Vidal and Jameson. But I'm going to go with the running back in full PPR over Jameson. So Harrison Jr., if he's active, and I would go with Vidal over Jameson slightly. Harrison Jr. and Vidal or Jameson. So those are three guys. So it's all about Harrison Jr. Harrison Jr. is not active. I would go with Jameson Williams and Vidal. Pearsall, I just want to see a little bit more. I could just ask me this later throughout the week, and I might change to Pearsall if he's out there and he's active and he's catching passes and Brock Purdy is playing. But I need to see. So right now I'm gonna go with Vidal and Jameson with a possibility of Harrison Jr. if he's active. Fred says Pittman or ETN. Let's go with ETN and full PPR. Let's go with ETN. Even if it wasn't full, if it was half-point PPR, I still would go with ETN. So let's go with ETN. He's the running back. He's getting goal line touches. Tootin he's the handcuff, but he's not getting he's not vulturing any goal line touches from ETN. So let's go with ETN and hope for a big play. Pittman is a lot of mouths to feed. Jonathan Taylor can take over the game. You got Josh Downs. You got 80 coming in. I don't know how many targets you're going to get. You got Alec Pierce active this week. I'm going to go with ETN over Pittman. Jay Moore, what's good, bro? He said, what's good, TD? Danny Finn says, trade Barkley for Gibbs. Yes, I would trade Barkley for Gibbs. I will get off for Barkley. Barkley's going to be fine, but if you need to make an immediate impact, I don't think he's going to make the immediate impact that you need. But he could definitely get going this week. MVM says, Cameron Johnson, Lil Joy Humphrey, Charbonnet, Woody, or Pollard, please. I'm going with Woody over Charbonnet, Humphrey, and Cameron Johnson. I'm going with Woody. Jay Moore says, do you think MHJ passed concussion protocol? No. Not for the first week. That's that's hard. It's only been like 3 guys to do that. MVM says, I have Kittle and Cade Otton. Someone drop Bowers. Should I drop Otton or Zonovan for him? Well, if you're gonna play Cade this week, then I would drop Zonovan. But if you're not gonna play Otton this week, then I would go ahead and just drop Otton and pick up Bowers. But if you're gonna play Otton, which has a great matchup this week because of the injuries on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you definitely got to pick up Bowers. So I would say if you got good running back depth, pick up Bowers and drop Zonovan, because it seems like you got a Kittle, so you got plenty of tight end depth. So I would definitely drop if I got good running back depth, I would drop Zonovan. Or I would drop Otton if I'm not going to use him this week. But if you're going to use Otton, then drop Zonovan and pick up Bowers. But you got to pick up Bowers. You don't want to leave that out on the waiver wire. That can come back to hunt you. Jay Moore says, oh, yeah, I picked up Cade and Woody off waivers. Great job, bruh. Curtis Knight says, laugh out loud, that Afro bun. Yes, sir, bruh. Yes, sir. Ain't no shame in my game. Jay Moore says, starting Cade and Tyler Warren at the flex. Nothing wrong with that. Teldall says, Judy is available, but I don't trust him. Pause. Pick him up. Yes, I will pick him up if you can. I will pick him up if you can. Carter, what's up, Carter? Carter says, Chiefs or Steelers D? I'm going with the Chiefs D, even though the Steelers got a good matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Flacco can target Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and they both can have touchdowns, which could hurt the defensive scoring for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still think the Steelers do well, but maybe not as well they would do if they had Jake Browning with all those turnovers that he's been committing. So I would probably go with the Chiefs defense. I love the Chiefs defense. That's my #1 defense. That's like, I actually think that's the #1 defense of the week. If I can go find my damn, I can't find the teams. Shit pissing me off. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I like the Chiefs over the Raiders. The Raiders, Gino has been giving it up behind the dumpster, giving up a lot of turnovers, so I like the Chiefs. Carter says Olave or Vidal. If I'm in full PPR, I'm going with Olave as a nice floor, but I think Vidal has more upside, and I think he has a decent floor. Maybe not as good as Olave in full PPR, but it's pretty good. To me, Vidal is the better play, but Olave is definitely the most safest play. He might be the most safest play at the wide receiver position in the whole NFL, especially at a floor. Like, his floor is tremendous. He's getting, 8 to 10 targets every single week. But Vidal has touchdown upside. He played well, so they're going to keep trying to feed him the rock, and he can catch passes. So I'm going with Vidal for the upside play, but Olave is definitely safe. Jay Moore says, thanks, TD. I will play Woody and also plug in Cade as well with my wide receivers banged up. Yes, sir, bruh. Sean Bond says, should I hold on to Hubbard and Rashad White or try to trade one to upgrade at running back? You could try to trade Hubbard, but you got to make sure it's a good piece. It ain't going to be great right now. But I would go ahead, or you could use White and Hubbard, because you're not gonna have White for a long time, because White eventually Bucky's gonna come back. You can trade White and move up and get you something good. I don't know particular what player, but I'm gonna do a trade video through as the week go on, and I'll let you know what guys that I would trade at the running back position. Let me see. Derrick Henry, maybe you could trade Rashad White this week, because somebody got Derrick Henry on the bye, and try to get Derrick Henry. I love that move. Take Rashad White and trade him for Derrick Henry. Dread for Life says, feels my sleeper this week. I ain't mad at you, bruh. I just can't play him without no Garrett Wilson. The only weapon that I can trust is Mason Taylor. I need more than that. But I'm not mad at you. Hennessy says, Caleb Williams versus the Saints or Dart at the Broncos? I'm going with Caleb Williams at the Saints. I love Dart, but that's very edgy. That's my personal preference. That's what I'm doing. If I got Dart in any of my personal leagues, if I got the space to do it or I got the record to do it. But Caleb Williams is the answer. Caleb Williams going at the Saints is what I would tell you to do. With Rome Odunze and Luther Burton should break out. Tronson on more plays, yes. I already knew that, guys. I'm not saying that I knew that, but that's why I do my breakdowns different. I didn't need to hear the coach that. When I saw Trevor start targeting Travis and they start winning games, that told me that. Guys, I'm always coming from a player and a coach perspective. Now, I do understand what fantasy is. Fantasy is a game. It has to be used accordingly. I can't just talk about real football and put it in there with fantasy all the time. But as far as finding talent for fantasy, I use that. So, yes, you have to use Travis Hunter. And, guys, that's why I talk about quadrants. Y'all think I talk about quadrants because I'm saying cutting edge content? No, I'm talking about quadrants because each 4 weeks things change, and that's regular football. Like, I played football, guys, for over 17 years. Ever since I was like 8 or 9, I've been playing football. And what we did as the season went on, we did different stuff according to what we was good at and what we wasn't good at. So things change. I might be getting 25 carries the first 3 or 4 games of the season. After that, I'm getting 15, but I'm catching 4 passes. And we throwing the ball deep a little bit more. Each quadrant, things are going to be different. So Travis Hunter is going to be eating. That's why I keep telling y'all about stashing these guys and trade targets. And Travis Hunter is on that list. Super chat from my homie Sean Bonds. He said, appreciate you, bro. Anytime. Let's see. Michael White, he said, so think Whittington won't be good value pickup next to Adams? No. He's okay. I don't think he's gonna be a Ibuka, but I think he can give you a nice floor of 10 points. But Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams is the only guys that I'm willing to play with Puka out. Paola said, what's up, bro? Should I roll with Fields or Bryce? I would go with Bryce over Fields. I'm not playing no Fields today. I mean, Fields this week. I'm playing Bryce. Bad matchup for him. I think Carolina going to win this game. Aladdin, what's up, Aladdin? I ain't seen you in a long time, bruh. Yes, sir. Rashik says Sutton marks J-Mo for flex. It's going to be between Marks and J-Mo. Now, listen, Sutton is fine. Let me make sure I got this matchup down correctly. Okay, they're going against the Giants. The Giants defense is okay. It's between Marks and J-Mo. I'm going to go with J-Mo slightly over Marks, but if you want to go with the running back, I always told you, if it's close, you can go with the running back. So I regress. I digress. I'm sorry. I digress. If you want to use Marks over J-Mo, I'm not going to chastise you. I think it's a good move, but I like J-Mo this week. I think this team is going to continue to pass and have to push the ball downfield, and you got to use different weapons. You got to get J-Mo involved for big-time touchdowns to help win the game. That's why I like J-Mo, and he's been being okay for the last 2 weeks. So I would say J-Mo, but if you went with Marks, it wouldn't be a bad move. I just think J-Mo got more upside than Marks. Jay Moore says, do you think the Commanders beat the Cowboys? Do you think the Commanders beat the Cowboys? Betting, yes. I'm a Cowboy fan, so I'm always going to cheer for my Cowboys. But if I had to put money on it, I'm going with the Commanders. Ice Cold Jones says, should I start Murray or Purdy or Rodgers? I'm going with Rodgers over Purdy and Murray. Now, I might change. Ask me that question later on throughout the week, Ice Cold Jones. And the reason why, if Purdy is healthy and he's practicing full time with Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle, and they all getting a good practice time and they healthy and they full, then I might go back. I might go to Purdy. But right now, I'm going to go to Rodgers. Right now, I'm going with Rodgers. Rashik says Rodgers over Stafford. Yes, sir. Rodgers over Stafford. Tron says need 2 wide receivers in a flex. Nico, Olave, McLaurin, Devontae, Jalen Warren, Fannin. I'm going with your 2 wide receivers are going to be Nico and Olave. Nico and Olave. And a flex is going to be McLaurin if he's active. If McLaurin's not active, I will go with Jalen Warren. So Nico, Olave, McLaurin, if those guys are healthy. If McLaurin's not healthy, I would pivot McLaurin and I would go to Jalen Warren. Carter said I skipped over his questions. Let me see, Carter. Because what? Yes, I did. I'm sorry, Carter. I did skip over your questions. That's why I ask y'all to become members if you can, because it's hard. I'm trying to get to the members first. But yes, Carter, you're right. I apologize, bro. You're right. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I did not skip over that question. Matter of fact, no, I did not. I answered that question, bro. You got to go back in the live. But I said I'm gonna do this time, and guys, I'm really big on that. If you say that in the chat, and I didn't do that, I'm gonna call you out, and you got a chance of getting blocked because that slows the live down. Next, just because you're not listening, don't be selfish. And I'm gonna read out all questions. So I got to your questions, and I remember saying this. I said Vidal, Olave is safe, but Vidal has the most upside. If you go back and rewind it, you can hear me say that. But I got you, bro. And Chiefs all day. That's my #1 defense this week. Chiefs all day. And I will play Vidal over Olave, but Olave is the safer guy because he's the safest wide receiver in a full PPR league. He's getting 10 targets every single week. He got more targets than any wide receiver, I think. I think more than Puka. Now I got to find my spot. NY says Nakua is day-to-day with a sprained ankle, but could miss this. He's going to miss this weekend. Even if he plays, ankle sprains tend to linger, which is concerning given his injury history. Correct. He's not going to play. They got a bye week next week. Why would they play him? Tron said, would you play Goddard or Fannin this week? I would go with Fannin with no Njoku. I don't think Njoku's going to play. Tim J says Waller or Otten. I'm going with Otten because of the 2 wide receivers with Ibuka being out, Chris Godwin being out. I'm going with Otten. And should I drop Fields for Dart? Yes, you should drop Fields for Dart. Ice Cold Jones says traded Chase Brown for J.K. Dobbins. Was that good, bro? For a vacuum, if you want to win this week, yes. But if you going long term, no. But you listen, you can cross that bridge when you get there. If you trying to win week to week, I'm never gonna hate on a man that's trying to win week to week. You know what I'm saying? That's like hating on a man that got a girl but you like, she ain't that cute. Bro, why you dating her? That girl kind of ugly. That's hating. You don't know what that man, he might need somebody. He might find her attractive. JK is balling. JK is getting targets on the goal line, the green zone touches, getting the honey touches. So I'm not going to sit here and act like JK ain't a good player. He's a top 12, top 14 type running back. But long season, I don't know if he can keep it up. And I think RJ Harvey can keep eating into his role. But this week, shit, JK going to be getting majority of the touches. And he's going to be getting the goal line touches. So there's nothing wrong with trading Chase Brown for JK Dobbins. And Chase Brown is struggling. Chase Brown is struggling too. Now, I think he might get better as Joe Flacco get better. Maybe Chase Brown, but maybe they keep splitting the carries with both of these guys, with Samaje Perine and Chase Brown. B. Silver says, why are the Bills playing so poor on offense? Because it happens. It's football. It happens, bro. The Eagles struggled a couple times last week. They struggling now. Kansas City struggled for 2 years and won 2 Super Bowls. It happens. You struggle a little bit. That's what life is. Guess what? Donald Trump is a billionaire. You don't think he struggled on some daily things? He struggled. You don't think Oprah Winfrey struggled? Everybody's going to struggle no matter how good or how much money you is. If you bleed, you're going to struggle. And struggle, now, the levels to it, are you struggling where your lights is turned off and you need kerosene heat for your house? No, you're not that type of struggle. But can you struggle where you got in an argument with your son and he won't talk to you? One of your friends is trying to steal from you. He don't think you know it, but he been taking money off the top on a business deal that he asked you to invest in. Struggles happen. It's still gonna be okay. So, what I'm looking at is James Cook. He ain't hurt. I see him when he play, how nasty he is, how good he is. That's something that I have that maybe y'all don't have. I don't need to see a great situation. And guess what, guys? I'm going to tell you something right here. This is big right here. And I don't want to get off topic. I want to stick with this. This is a metaphor. When it comes to people that's in my circle, I see the best in them. I don't care about their situation. I don't need to go over their house and spend the night. And listen, I'm talking about from a young man all the way up to my age now. I'm 38. I don't need you to have a bunch of money in a pool for me to go over your house. If you a good person, I'm looking in within this. Just like James Cook. James Cook can ball. I don't care nothing about what's going on last week and the week before. I trust in James Cook that I know he's going to be great. And also, going on Twitter, I heard that the head coach came up to the offensive coordinator and said, listen, James Cook got to be in the game. He wasn't in the game. He had 2 snaps in the fourth quarter. 2 snaps in the fourth quarter? Come on now, somebody's making a mistake. So to me, guys, the way I approach my friends, the way I approach y'all and in the chat, I don't care nothing about what you necessarily like, what you're going through, who you is, what you can do for me. Are you a good person? Can I trust you? I can trust James Cook. So I'm gonna keep trusting this offense because I got a player on that offense. And I made that decision before the season started, because I always gonna go through my pros and cons on each team. CMC, what if he get hurt? What if he doesn't? Like, I'm weighing my options. So I was like, you know what? I don't care nothing about Josh Allen sniping touchdowns from James Cook. He's one of the most talented running backs. They gave him a deal for a reason. So I think this team is going to be great. Bro, this is a buy low opportunity for James Cook and Josh Allen and Keon Coleman if you need like a sleeper play. So they're going to be fine. They be fine. The offense is just struggling. They got to find our identity. Mostly, that's what humans is. We got to find our identity. Sometimes we acting different because we don't even know who we are. We trying to act like our friends. So they just got to find our identity. And I think their identity is going to be run the ball with James Cook early and often. And then we can feed off of that. We can play off of that as the game go on. I can play action to James. Then I can hit Keon Coleman. I can hit Dalton Kincaid. I can give some gadget plays to Khalil Shakir. But we got to establish the line of scrimmage with James Cook. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Got another super chat from King of Nike. What's up, bro? He said, TD, would you rather Dak or JD File rest of the season? I'm going with JD File with the rushing upside. I'm going with JD File with the rushing upside. I love Dak. Both of these quarterbacks are really great this year, but I'm going with JD File. Appreciate that, bruh. Let's see here. Jay Moore said, do you think yep, I do think the Commanders will beat the Cowboys. I did that one already. Okay, Chris V says Pittman versus Chase Brown, no PPR lead. Let's go with Pittman. Chase Brown is splitting carries. I haven't seen him have but one good game all year. That was first week. Let's go with Pittman and see what happens. We Love Cruz says, wash your hair, bruh. Hey, I get my stuff done all the time, bruh. But my scalp go dry before I can get it done, bruh. So I wait every Friday and get my hair done. So I have to wear it regular. I'm natural. I'm black, bruh. I'm black. You be telling people with dreads? Did you tell Bob Marley that he need to wash his dreads? That's why I always tell black folks, quit hating. You don't tell you love your celebrities, and you let the celebrities let Macy Gray do whatever she want to do, but you ride other people about little small things. Jonathan Santiago says PPR star one, Diggs, Rondell Dobbs, or Jameson. I'm going with Jameson. Diggs, man, listen, I would have said Diggs last week, but once he went back down and did that again, I'm like, okay, man, it's still not consistent. I didn't need him to go for 30 points again, but I need him at least to go for like 15. So I'm going to say Jameson. If all those guys are volatile, I'm going to go with the biggest boom volatile guy. I'm going with Jameson. Jimmy's, he says, are your leagues waiver priority or fab? Fab all day, bro. I don't do no waiver priority. I do fab. Everybody should be involved in all waiver pickups according to how much money you got. Sitting around waiting on somebody, letting other people pick up players just to get the number one pickup. Like, I don't like that. I mean, some people are cool with it. I don't like it. I don't like waiver priority either, Jimmy. Rashid says Gainwell or Marks flex. I'm going with Marks over Gainwell. Norberto, what's up, bruh? He says, I have Ibuka, Garrett Wilson, and Jigba. I lost 2 of those guys this week. Who can I pick up? You can pick up Jalen Hyatt. But he got an injury. Keyshawn Butte from the New England Patriots. Who did they say? They said somebody on New England had an injury, a wide receiver. It wasn't Stephon Diggs. It was another guy. I'm pretty sure that Travis Hunter's not on your waivers. Malik Washington, who's been getting 5 targets the last 2 to 3 weeks for the Miami Dolphins. Rashid Shaheed for the New Orleans Saints. Luther Burden for the Chicago Bears. Or Sterling Shepard for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this week as a bye week replacement. So, again, I'm going to give it to you one more time. Keyshawn Butte for the New England Patriots. That's a wide receiver that you can pick up. Jalen Hyatt has an injury tag on him, so I'm not going to tell you to pick him up right now, but I do like him as a sneaky play. I like Malik Washington, who's been getting 5 targets the last 2 to 3 weeks since Tyreek Hill has been out. Rashid Shaheed, who's a boom play. He's not bust. He's been going about 10 points, but he can give you 20-some points. Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler is okay. He's good enough to get Rashid Shaheed the ball. And Luther Burden, who I think is going to get more targets with the DJ Moore injury, who had to go to the doctor. He had to stay. He couldn't fly with the team. He had a growing injury. All right, hopefully that helped you out, bruh. The Flying Donkey says, random question, but what you think of Trevor Lawrence? I think he's getting better. I don't think no quarterback suck in the league. I think they all need good coaching. Some need better coaching than others. Lamar don't need as much coaching. Josh Allen needed a lot of coaching. Now he doesn't need it. He's found himself. So I think Trevor Lawrence has to just keep chopping at the tree, man. I think he has the skill set, but he has to learn how to throw anticipatory throws to Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter. And that's his next step to take his game to the next level. And he's working on that. So I think he's fine. I love his rushing upside. He's finally realizing I can run. And you got to run a little bit more than what you're doing. You're young, so you got to be running. I'm not telling you to run over nobody. I'm not telling you not to slide. But I'm thinking that he needs to at least have 30 yards, try to get 30 yards rushing a game. And he's getting better. When I'm watching the game, he's getting better. That's why I started telling people to pick up Travis Hunter. I started seeing Trevor and throw those anticipation throws. B. Silver says, do we dump Jennings after he revealed all his injuries? I'm not sure if I can trust him anymore. Right. That's big facts. There's nothing wrong with that. If you can move on, man, move on from him or put him on the bench until you hear and see that he's healthy. He's not going through these non-practice weeks. So I would drop him or I would just stash him. Carter says, do you trust Rice in his first game back? Yes. Yes, you got no other choice. You held on to him this long, you got to play him. You held on to him like he's an elite superstar, so you have to play him like that. You don't hold on to nobody for 6-7 weeks and then you don't play him when that opportunity comes. King Justin says, I expect the Buccaneers and Lions game to have a lot of fireworks. Okay. And with Evans or another Buccaneers receiver could go off for a huge game. Yes, and Jameson. Yes, this is going to be a huge game. I agree. This is a fantasy extravaganza. Facts. Sakita says, should I play it safe and play Ladd at the flex or try Rice or Mike Evans right away if they play? I would play Rice. And the same region that I told King Justin about Rice, and might have been somebody else, Carter. You've been waiting this long, you got to play him. You got to play him. I like Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans is a start. I'm starting Mike Evans this week. I love Ladd. Quentin QJ, I don't know if he's going to play, but that matters. But to me, of all those guys that I got to get on there, it would got to be Rice. Mike Evans is coming off a hamstring injury. I think he's going to do fine. I've seen him do fine before. Ladd, I think he's going to be fine, but QJ could play. So Rice is the guy, no matter what. If he's out there, Pat Mahomes is going to be targeting him at least 7 times. So I'm going to say Rice. Dread for Life says Jefferson or Chase this week. I'm going with you got to play both of them. I'm not picking between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, bro. I can't do that. That's Margot Robbie or Jennifer Lopez. Aoife says, should I trade Rashee Rice and get Derrick Henry? Yes. I like that trade. Joy NYK says, TD always keeping it 100. You know it, bro. I thrive on that. I thrive on that people that I trust don't even let me be myself. And that, guys, it's tough. It's tough. You may think, and listen, they say it's lonely at the top. I'm not at the top. It's lonely grinding. Like everybody wants me to be nice to people that's disrespecting me. They want me to walk around with some type of candy cane like I'm Santa Claus. It's rough, but I keep it 100. I'm never gonna lie. I can count the lies that I told in my life outside of me dating girls. That's different, right? I done lied a lot when it comes to that. Not lying to a woman per se, but like, hey, do you love me? Yeah, I love you. You know what I'm saying? That type of lying throughout when I was younger. Before it's talking to a grown-ass man, I don't lie. I keep it 100. That's why I love the 100 symbol. And guess what, people? You got to see some of my friends post on Facebook. Why you always keeping it 100? Talking about 100? You lying. They won't say my name. I know who you talking about. And they ain't never tried nothing. They ain't lived their dreams out. They ain't tried a damn thing. Appreciate that, Joy. Jay Moore says Josh Downs has entered concussion protocol. Okay, so look like Alec Pierce is going to be a good start this week. Durf Boy says start Dart or Purdy. I'm about to get cutting edge, and you 6-0. I'm gonna tell you to start Dart. And listen, bro, come back and let me know, Durf Boy. I would not. If you say, hey, listen, TD, you told me to play Dart, man. He had 6 points, and it was a tough matchup. And I would say, bro, I was completely wrong. So I'm letting you know now. I'm getting cute. I'm cutting edge content right here. I love Dart, man. I'm super high. When I saw him play against the Philadelphia, I fell in love. Pause. So I am a Dart fan. Now, you know I love my Amon-Ra St. Browns and my Tyreek Hills and, my Lamar Jacksons. Those are my favorite players in the NFL. I'm old school Troy Polamalu's, Bob Sanders. Those are my old school players. And Dart, if he keep doing what he's doing, he's going to get in that role too. He's going to get in that bag too. I'm going with Dart. David, what's up, David? He said, should I start Woody Marks in the flex? Yes, you should. According to that question, with nobody else, Woody Marks needs to be started. He was my starter of the week, bruh. Yes, sir. Eric, what's up, Eric? He said, just had a trade come in. Trade Rice and Swift, and I get Barkley and Rashee, and I get White. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Rashee. So many Rices and stuff. Rashad White. Eric, I don't know what you need, so I'm going to kind of break it down all over a little bit because I don't know exactly what you need, what your team is lacking if you're just doing a trade. Sometimes, guys, a lot of you do trades that's the trade, and I'm gonna chastise you over that. Quit trading, quit giving away the stuff that the nice stuff that you got in your house. Every time somebody come over, you giving them a refrigerator, you giving them something like hey man, this is why I got a refrigerator. Let me get this, bro. You good? You good? You got antiques and stuff that you're giving away. So I'm gonna say that you're not doing that. I'm saying that you're trying to make a trade to help your team. Okay. So you trading Rice and Swift. Swift is a starter. He ain't played a 17-week season yet, a 17-week season, but he's a good player. He just had a real good game. Rice is on his way to come back. Barkley has been struggling. White is not going to be the starter. So to me, the person that I would like to remove that can't hold these other guys' jock strap is Rashad White. When Bucky comes back, Rashad White's going to go back to a backup running back. So with that being said, I'm going with Rice and Swift. Rice he should be healthy the whole season, even though Swift is volatile. It doesn't matter if Rashad White is volatile. He can just get his position took no matter how well he plays. He can go out for 200 yards back to back, and they not gonna sit no Bucky Irvin. So, and Barkley is even struggling a little bit. I think he gets better. I'm gonna go with the Rice and Swift side. That's the side that I want. Joey says, can you please talk about Jamar Chase and where he stands? And where he stands with Flacco as his quarterback. Where can he rank rest of the season? Thanks for the cutting edge content. So Joey, Jamar Chase is going to be Jamar Chase. You start him every single time. It's that simple. It's Occam Razor. Remember, we talked about Jamar Chase 2 weeks ago. We talked about him yesterday. And what I've been telling you. You got him on your team, you got to start him. And then now you got Joe Flacco. That's your little buffer right there. That's for you that's for comfort for you. That's somebody holding your hand and say, listen, man, it's gonna be okay. Here's Joe Flacco to help with the targets. Okay. Whew. Okay, it might not be great. It might not be 100% of what I thought I was gonna get, but if I take the 75%, and that's what you gotta take, bro, Occam Razor. You got Joe Flacco there, play Jamar Chase, bro. It's that simple. Ain't nothing else for me to secure you with. Going in there and do you. Look, it's like your wedding. You're a virgin. You on your wedding. You having your wedding. You get to go on your honeymoon. You like, hey, man, tell me what. I'm like, bruh, just go ahead and do you. That's what I'm going to tell you. I ain't going to be God. I can't guide you in there, bruh. You just got to go ahead and do it. You got to go ahead and just go ahead. Everything will take its place. So you got to go ahead, man, with Jamar Chase. You just got to start him. And everything can happen. Next thing you know, 40-point, 50-point, 40-point, 50-point. You be like, what? 40-point, 50-point with Joe Flacco? And you know Joe Flacco don't have a conscience. He older. It's like your grandpa. You know your grandpa and sit around and people come around, your grandpa be cussing people out. Hey, man, get away from me with your stinking ass. You know how your grandpa, what? I'm stinking. You know how grandpas are. And that's what Joe Flacco, he's older, so he don't care. He don't care nothing about no picks. He don't care nothing about getting benched. He made his money. He done made over $150 million. So he gonna push the ball downfield to Jamar Chase. Got a super chat from Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, Big Will? He says, what up, bro? I'm starting CMC. Pick 2, please. Kamara, Bill Nye the Science Guy, or Vidal. Also, are we starting Chase Brown versus Pitt? No, we ain't starting Chase Brown unless you really, really, really have to. Unless you really, really, really have to. So the 2 that I'm going with is Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. And then I'm going with Vidal. Kamara, I hate y'all. When did y'all think I would ever tell you not to play Kamara? But, man, with Kendre Miller and Kamara don't want to go nowhere, Kamara don't want to play no more. I'm done with drafting Kamara. He don't want to get traded. That mean, what the hell you doing? You ain't even doing shit on New Orleans. What you think they going to do for you? You just a safe PPR guy. You know what Kamara is? He's the Chris Olave of running backs. You ain't giving me no boom, Kamara, no more, but you want to stay in the same situation. And you okay with splitting with Kendre Miller. So I'm not okay with that type of Kamara. That's not how I drafted Kamara. I thought I was getting a value. So I'm going to go with Bill, who's got 80% of the touches. Vidal, who got 65, 70% of the touches, but played very well, and he should get 80% this week because he played really good. So I'm going with Bill and Vidal. Appreciate the super chat, bruh. Yes, sir. I got the best. Listen, I put my subscribers up against anybody. We ruthless. My guys, they sit here and watch me in the dark. I can go in a septic tank and get shit all over me. And guess what y'all gonna do? Well, we here, TD. Get the video right. We don't care if it's lagging. We just want to hear you talk. Give us the gas. And I love my subscribers, guys. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Let's see here. King of Nike says, just got off of Dak and Kincaid or Jaden Daniels and Kincaid for Debo. I like the Jaden Daniels part if you're just asking me about which guy that's better to get back. Jaden Daniels is better to get back than Dak. Jay Moore says, would you play Mason Taylor with great matchup? You say it's a great matchup, but I don't think it's that great of a matchup going against the Carolina Panthers. With no Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson opens it up for Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor is not Aaron Hernandez, no pun intended. He's not Travis Kelce or Rob Gronkowski. I think he needs a Garrett Wilson to help open things up. So does Justin Fields. So I don't like playing Mason Taylor with Justin Fields with no Garrett Wilson. If Garrett Wilson was healthy, I would say, yeah, Mason Taylor has a great matchup. I think Carolina plays great this week. Carolina, they riding high. Their defense has been holding all the running backs under 40, 50 yards, well, under 60 yards. I'm just nervous about playing Mason Taylor, but he is a solid play if you have to play him. You don't have to go on the waiver wire and get something disgusting. Fannin Jr. I'm okay with you playing Fannin Jr. over him, but don't go to the waiver wires and get a Pat Fryermuth for somebody or a Darnell Washington. I will probably go ahead and play Taylor. Brinley says Caleb versus Jordan Love this week. I have Ibuka, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, and Unduze. I need to pick 2. Okay, so you saying I'm gonna do the Caleb. Maybe you don't need my help on this. Let me see. I'm gonna go with Caleb over Jordan Love for the rushing upside that Caleb provides. Jordan Love is a good play too. Both of the guys, I don't think neither one of them hurts you. Both of them are solid plays, but I'm gonna go with Caleb. And between all of those guys, you said you need to pick 2. I would go with Mike Evans and Odunze. If Mike Evans doesn't play, I would go with Terry McLaurin. If Terry McLaurin doesn't play, Keenan Allen. So Mike Evans is the normal 1 guy that you're playing. And then you got to make a decision between Terry McLaurin. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Mike Evans and Odunze. Those are the guys. I'm sorry. Mike Evans and Odunze. I would play those guys. If Mike Evans doesn't play, you have to choose between Terry McLaurin and Keenan Allen. And I probably would go with Terry McLaurin if QJ plays. Hopefully that made sense, bro. So Odunze and Mike Evans, but no Mike Evans. If he doesn't play, then I will go with Terry McLaurin. And if Terry McLaurin doesn't play, Keenan Allen. We got to wait. We got to wait through the weeks. Brinley says Fannin versus Waller, tight end, week 7. I'm going to go with Fannin with no David Njoku. If Njoku plays, I'm going with Waller. All right. Let's see. Durf Boy with the super chat. Appreciate you, bruh. He says, thanks for the help, like always. You know it, bruh. You know it. Mike King with the super chat. Appreciate you, Mike King. Some reason I think you got a personality like Mike Larry. Like Mike Larry from Bad Boys. Mike Larry. Mike says, I don't want to drop Chuba, right, as you shouldn't, but I need to pick up a quarterback because Allen is in a bye. Should I just take a 0 and not play a DST? Yeah. And I hate to say that, man, because that's like telling another man what to do with his money. You the one gonna have to take that 0 from the DST. So I don't want to just tell you what to do, and I don't got no fight in the dog or no fight in this fight. But yes, that's definitely what I would do. Or a kicker. If you don't got no kick, I would take a 0 from my kicker or a DST before I drop a player, before I drop the cookies. I'm not letting nobody take my cookies. So I would take the 0 for the DST. Don't drop Chuba though. You got to see what's going to happen. At least 2 weeks. Wait 2 weeks to see when Chuba and Rico is healthy. Appreciate the super chat, guys. Appreciate you. Okay, okay, Father 3 says traded Golden for Dart. Okay. Okay. He said, Father 3 said, I traded Golden for Dart, needed a backup to Mahomes, for a bye week and possible the 4th quadrant star. Okay. Other wide receivers are Zay Flowers, Pickens, Addison, and Pearsall. Thoughts? So you gave up Golden. I'm gonna get on you a little bit for the 3. I'm gonna get on you a little bit. I know you didn't need Golden, but you traded Golden to get a bye week replacement quarterback when you have Mahomes who's get ready to break out, and you traded just to get Dart. If that's not if that wasn't like a big game that I needed in order to get into the playoffs, I wouldn't make that move. If you winning, now if you kind of 500 and you need to make sure you win as many games as possible, that is a good move because you got to try to win everything that you can. But if you like only lost 1 loss or 2 losses, I wouldn't have done that. Just because to me, when I trade for a player, I like to play him, bro, because you don't want what me and you don't want to be doing in a couple of weeks is saying, TD, Mahomes threw that pick in the red zone. Should I play Dart? Because Dart's not doing that, and Dart had 30 points against a top defense. We don't want to do that, bro. That's gonna bring our energy down because now we sitting around trying to choose, and we ain't God, right? So you want to keep a clear path as much as you can. That way you can be the highest pick person as far as picking your starts and sets in the league, guys. One thing I love about Sleeper, guys, and I will show you this. Sleeper they will track your accuracy between starts and sits, guys. Listen, I might not have the best record in all my leagues. Because I'm in like 1st or 2nd in like 7 or 8 leagues. But let me see what I was saying here. I just don't want to make a move for Dart and he start balling out, and now he's out playing Pat Mahomes, and it gets tricky. You don't want to leave those points on your bench, so now you actually thinking about sitting Pat Mahomes. And Mahomes should never be don't start before a guy like Dart when he's getting better. I just think it's going to cause more problems. But let me finish. I just want to explain that. And a possible 4th quadrant star. Okay, but right, but Mahomes, what if Mahomes is balling? What if Mahomes is still, maybe he ain't the top 5 guy, but he top 7. And Dart is top 3, and then Dart give you a bad game in the playoffs because he's a young quarterback, right? Let me see it. And other wide receivers are Zay Flowers. Just you don't need no wide receiver. You got Zay, he's gonna be eating. He's a top 5 wide receiver. I said what I said when Lamar is healthy. Pickens is good. Pickens gonna be fine even when CD comes back. Addison is one of the best number two wide receivers in the league. And Pearsall, we just need to see him stay healthy. So you good at wide receiver. I don't think I would have traded for Dart. I just would have streamed a quarterback during that week, and you would have been fine. And you never know, Golden could have been hidden. You could have played Golden on one of those bye weeks. I don't think your team is less talented, but I think you're gonna create problems for yourself if Mahomes keep playing good and Dart keeps playing good. Sean Bond says, you think Chase Brown could be a sneaky buy? No. If he does, bro, we have to cross that bridge when we get. I can't even cap and tell you that. I think he can have a couple of good games, though. Yankee says Jameson or Butte for week 7. I'm gonna go with Jameson. Hey guys, I'm gonna go down with the shit with Jameson. I love Butte, but I'm gonna go with Jameson. They both are volatile. I like Jameson. I think he's a better volatile player. And rest of the season, yes, rest of the season. Drake has been hot and throws a great deep ball. I know, but we're not just gonna wait on the deep ball. Jameson gets in the rounds, he gets deep ball. Jared Goff is a great deep ball thrower too. So I'm gonna go with Jameson. All right, let me make sure. I think I might have got another stupid chat. Let me. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, I just want to make sure, guys. So I don't want y'all to super chat and I'm not getting to it. Oh shit! Okay. Should I play Kittle, Marks on the flex? I'm 5-1. Okay. Okay, Michael White. Did I skip this question? I'm gonna get to it now. Michael White says, should I play Kittle or Marks at the flex this week? I'm 5-1 in a 12-man league. If Purdy plays, I would play Kittle or Marks. I'm gonna go ahead and get cutting edge. I would play Kittle over Marks, Michael White. Sorry if I skipped your question. Sean Boy says, what's good, bro? I have Stafford. Would rather have Young or Dart as a backup. I would say Dart as the backup. Sean Bond says, should I hold on to Hubbard and White or try to trade one to upgrade a running back? Yeah, so we did that already. Okay. Be patient with me, guys. Be patient with me. J-Mo says, Josh Downs has entered concussion protocol. Okay, we did that one already. Okay, there we go. Yankee fan says, Jameson or Butte. Okay, we did that one. Jay, what's up, Jay? He said, just sub. Start Chase Brown or Waddle. I'm going with Waddle over Chase Brown. I have Jamar Chase concerned about starting 2 Bengals on Thursday. Don't be concerned about that. Play the best players. Play the best players. So you definitely starting Jamar Chase. And I would play Waddle over Chase Brown. That's easy. Waddle over Chase Brown all day. Ed Tate says, someone send me a trade for my Ibuka or McLaurin. Deal Devoted, what's up, bro? What up, TD? Who would you flex this week? J-Mo or Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt? Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. I'm starting Bill. Y'all know that I grew up in that era. I'm a Channel 4 guru. I didn't watch Wishbone. Y'all remember Wishbone? Wishbone. What's the story? Wishbone. Yes, I grew up watching Channel 4, Sesame Street. So Wishbone, Bill Nye, the science guy, Arthur, the big comfy couch, Lamb Chop, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the guy that painted with the white guy with the black people hair, and he used to make little happy trees. That's my generation. I'm telling you my age right now. Ed Tay says, McLaurin for Ibuka, I'm 4-2. Or you think I wait for him to come back? I wouldn't do McLaurin. I think you need a better trade. Find somebody else. We're not going to go from injury to another injury guy coming off an injury. Like, we're not going to a guy that coming off an injury. We need to have healthy players and know what they're going to do. Like Olave, I'm not telling you to make this trade, but Olave would be better because you at least, you know he's healthy. You know he's getting 10 targets. Go to something that you can bank on if you're going to make that trade. At least have something that you can count on. You might not count on for him going 30 points, 40 points, but you can count on Olave getting 10 targets. McLaurin can go out there and not even get no targets. He can re-injure that quad. I'm worried about that. So I would get a better trade target than McLaurin. Senor Rojo said, would you drop Kenyon for Whittington or B-Rob Jr.? No, I wouldn't. I'd rather play Kenyon over Whittington because, you know, they need to win. And I'm not worried about B-Rob Jr. right now. I just wait to spend a waiver priority on him or try to pick him up if something happens to CMC. I'm not worried to B-Rob. I can't give everybody insurance. You can't get insurance for every single player. Sometimes they clogging up your roster. You got to make moves for the fourth quadrant so you can win a championship or you can go to the playoffs. Not all sweet and sour chicken over here. Looking forward to getting Rice back this week. Tuning in from China, fam. Yes, sir, bruh. Appreciate you. Hit the like button. Cutting edge content here. Great community. Basketball Hoop says Tet and Vidal for Rice, a good trade. So what you trying to say that you don't need Tet and Vidal? Like they on your bench. They not started, or they one of them a flex play and the other one on your bench. And then you can consolidate, and then you got Rice and he's gonna start every week. If that's the scenario, yes. If Tet and Vidal are already starting for you and you just trying to get another wide receiver, I wouldn't do that. Because Tet and Vidal are good players to have on your team that's going to help you get wins each week. But if they ain't been helping you, they've been on your bench and one of them been in the flex a couple times, then yeah, make that move. That way you got Rice starting as a wide receiver too. For me, he says, is this a good trade for me? And is Jacobs for A-Chain a good trade also? I am 1-5 trying to make trades. Okay. So Basketball Hoops, go down in the chat. And you got to use a little bit of what you talked about so I can know. Say, hey, I asked you Tet and Vidal for Rice. And I also wants to trade Jacobs. Here's my team. So I want you to tell me your starting lineup. I don't want to know your whole team. I just want to know your starting lineup. What was in your starting lineup last week? Show me that. But you got to let me know a little bit about this question right here because I'll be lost and I won't go back up. I don't think you should be trading Jacobs for A-Chain. That's not shaking it up. You need to be doing 1-for-2 deals. You need to be, okay, I'm going to give up Jacobs and I'm going to get two studs, two a little bit lesser guys, but they've been putting up really good points. Don't do no 1-for-1. Unless you was doing like a Tet McMillan for a Lamar Jackson. Other than that, don't do lateral moves like that. Jacobs for A-Chain, what is it going to be? Jacobs can outscore him anytime and A-Chain can outscore him anytime. That's not going to make your team better. So let me know who you started last week, and then I can help you with this question. Appreciate the Basketball Hoops. King of Nike says, rate my team now. JD 5, Dak Prescott. Wide receivers are London Ibuka, JSN Rice, Josh Downs, Jalen Coker. Running back are Kyron Genty Breach, Bucky Charbonnet. I'm going to give it a B+. The only reason why I'm giving it a B+ is the tight end position. I can be a stickler of the tight end position. But other than that, bro, you got a really good team. Just because I'm giving you a B+ and I'm not saying an A+ doesn't mean that you can't win the championship. I'm not giving up A+ just to give out an A+, just because you got a couple names on there. But I love your strength of your team is JSN and London, and you got Ibuka coming back. And I love that you got Ibuka as a third wide receiver. You don't need to rely on Ibuka. So Ibuka is really, really good for you. So you can wait on Ibuka. And then you got Rice. You deep at the wide receiver. Josh Downs and Jalen Coker ain't gonna never see the field. Kyron is gonna be solid, and Genty is a growing running back who's only gonna get better as the quadrants go on. So, bro, you got a really good team. B+. Good job, King of Nike. Mike King with the super chat. Appreciate it, Mike King. He says quarterback streamer. Rodgers, Stroud, Darnold, or Stafford. I'm going with Rodgers slightly over Stroud. I'm going with Rodgers slightly over Stroud. Appreciate you, bruh. Appreciate you. Yankee says Chuba may play and the coach has not committed to either him or Rico. Should I keep both on my team? It's a committee going forward. You need to keep both of them to see what's going to happen and move accordingly. Like, don't assume that anything. Don't assume that, oh, it's going to be Rico. It's going to be Chuba. Wait and see. Let the coaches play tell you. Don't let the coaches talk and tell you. Let the play tell you. So you might have to play one of them, and that's okay. Don't worry about, man, don't, and I know you're not. Don't be worried about like, oh, if I play him and then I lost. Sometimes you got to make a play because you don't know what was going to happen, but you needed to wait it out and see. And that's what I would tell you to do. Wait it out and see. It may be a 50-50 committee. It may be a 60-40. If you got to play one of them, you play one of them. If you got to play both of them this week, you play both of them. It's nothing above reproach, bro, when it comes to fantasy. You got to play 5 guys on the same team just to get by. You might have to do that. B. Silver says, are we starting Chase Brown versus the Steelers? No. What game script insight you have on the Steelers versus the Bengals? Aaron Rodgers need to get 2 touchdowns. That's what my game script tells me. So they're going to run the ball, but Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it in to DK. DK is, I'm feeling myself. Aaron, all right, I got a chemistry with him. So I'm expecting a touchdown from DK, 100 yards from DK, 2 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers to get around, to run the ball a little bit here and there, and try to throw it in there to the red zone and keep his touchdowns up so that Aaron Rodgers can continue to break records and maybe win a Super Bowl and keep DK happy where DK can come to the Steelers and earn all this bonus money. So that's what I expect. That's why I chose Aaron Rodgers and I chose DK as my stars of the week. Jay Moore says, would you stream Kirk this desperate for wide receiver help? Any suggestions? I think I talked about wide receivers already, Jay Moore, but I'm gonna give you some other wide receivers. You got Keyshawn Butte, you got Jameson Williams, and you got Rashid Shaheed, and you got Luther Burden. You choose out of those guys. Those are some guys that can help you out this week. Hennessy Black says, I hate that the coach got to tell the coordinator to put Cook in. Come on, Hennessy Black. Preach, bruh. Especially when you're down. He's a receiver too, bruh. Oh, my goodness, what is going on, guys? That's why you think I be talking like, hey, I know, like, I might not can go up and design plays like I can't think of the guy's name. He coached for the Cowboys. He was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. But, bruh, I'm smarter than that. Ain't Cook 2 snaps. Man, get out of here, man. That shit don't even make no sense, bro. It don't make no sense. I don't give a damn what the game script is, what Ty Johnson is doing, what Ray Davis is doing. I don't care nothing about that. Why is James Cook not in the game and he's a pass catching back before he even was a pure running back? It doesn't make sense. Especially when you're down, he's a receiver too. And Buffalo don't have receivers like that. Bruh. Preach. Diego says, who should I start? Jameson Williams, Wandale, or Pearsall? Jameson Williams. Conjure says, grab a little bill. I need a running back real bad. Yeah, bruh. Tajay Spears. Hopefully you can get him, bruh, or Marks. Michael White says, Mark or Kittle in the flex. Bro, I'm going to get cutting edge here. I'm going to go with Kittle. It's Purdy plays. I'm going to go with Kittle, man. Kittle like that, bro. So that's why I'm going with Kittle over Mark. I don't feel great about it, but I respect Kittle game. I know what Kittle is. Kittle's a Hall of Famer. He was going to have a big year if he wouldn't have got hurt. He still can have a big year. So I'm going to go with Kittle slightly over Mark, even though I think Woody Marks is going to be a good play for the rest of the season. Not saying he's going to be a top 5 back, but I think he's definitely top 24. Richard Tan says, Sumo never. Richard says, Sumo never washed their drawers. Look it up. Really? Bro, you get a damn infection putting that shit on, you sweating in the crack of your butt like that, and you keep putting it on there. Bro, that's why you can't wear the same underwear back to back to back to back. You got to clean them shits. Damn, that's good information, though, Richard. That's funny. Chris said, some people think Hubbard is going to lose his job to Rico. He did his job, but also played horrible defenses. Right. Big facts. We got to wait it out and see. It is a doggy-dog world over there now. It is a doggy-dog. Trouba going to have to fight for his targets, for his carry. Hennessy Black says, Bourne have the same upside with Purdy. Nah, he don't. I think I only like Bourne with Mac Jones. I think Purdy got a chemistry with Ricky Pearsall and Kittle. I think Purdy got good chemistry with Ricky Pearsall and Kittle. I think Matt Jones has good chemistry with Bourne. Now, he can throw to other guys, but the best chemistry is with Bourne. Michael White says, Whittington a good pickup for the Rams. He's a solid pickup if you need to. Lower your expectations. Just know that he's going to get 6 to 7 targets at least. Richard Tan says Vidal for Jordan Addison. Yes, I think that's okay if you need a wide receiver. If you're going to start Jordan Addison every week, don't make that trade if you're not going to start Jordan Addison every week. You don't make a trade. Oh, listen, I got Jordan Addison. He's right here on this bench right here. Yeah, he's been there for 3 weeks. No, we're not doing that. If we make a trade, bam, look, put Jordan Addison in my starting lineup. Look what I got now. That's what you do. I like that you're getting off Vidal, who's not going to be the starter for the rest of the season. Now, listen, if he plays really, really well, him or Amari Hampton will split a little bit. I know y'all don't want to hear that, but him and Amari Hampton will split if he keeps playing well. Amari Hampton will get the majority of the carries, but there will be a little split. It might be like a 70-30. OG Cash says, I'm 2-4. I trade CMC for Genty and Collins. I like that. I like that. You're getting a 2-for-1, a 1-for-2. Yankee says Pearsall, Kittle, and Brock are all practicing this week. Okay. Fully. And think of dropping Bourne now. Should I pick up a Boone wide receiver? Well, we don't know if Juwan Jennings. I wouldn't drop Bourne. I would like to see how he's going to play with Purdy, but starting him this week, just assume that he's going to ball out with Purdy? No. But I will hold on for him for one more week and see what he does with Purdy. Ori Solomon says, sell Rico while he's hot or hold and see if he takes over the... I would sell him while he's hot because he's probably the worst man. I think Trouble is solid. So you 60-40, and you don't want a Rico 60-40. So trade him and try to get somebody who's going to get targets for the rest of the season. Not a Chase Brown. Go a little bit higher than that. Go a little bit higher than that. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really broke down a bunch of running backs to know. But I think you could go a little bit higher than that. C.A. Jefferson said start J-Mo, Shaheed, or Addison. I'm going with J-Mo because I don't know who's throwing the ball to Addison. I'm going with J-Mo. I'm going down with the ship with J-Mo tonight. Big Wheel says 100. Yes, sir, bruh. He said, what up, bro? What's going on with you? J-Mo said, who should I drop for a wide receiver stream? Hendy, Bo Nix, or Chase Brown? I would say Chase Brown. Or Jay Moore. If you drop Bo, do you think you can get back to him? If you think you can get back to Bo Nix, you drop Bo Nix. Sometimes I like to drop guys, even though I like them. If I think I can get back to him, that people won't pick him up because it might be a bad matchup that week, I drop that play instead of dropping somebody else that I know will get picked up. Chase Brown probably going to get picked up because we know he's starting and he's trying to get a rhythm on the Cincinnati Bengals. Juan Marino said, what's up, bro? Good tight end to pick up for this week. Otten, Barner, or May. I'm going with Otten. NY says, how do you feel about Dart this week? I love Dart this week. I love him. I don't care about the matchup. He showed me that he can play against tough matchups. Between Hurts, Fields, Herbert, Jones, Denver D has only given up 42 rushing yards. Yeah. You know that doesn't move me. I get that. I love the stats. Appreciate that, bro. That's good intel. I don't let that despair you. That's like saying, hey, you know, Google lost the first 6 months and they went down. They lost a lot of money. That shit still didn't matter. Google ended up being one of the best investments that you could do of all time in America. So I wouldn't worry about that. I still would play Dart if I need to play Dart. Michael White says Whittington would be a good pickup this week to replace Puka. Yes, but he's not going to be Puka. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're looking for something out of Whittington and you depending on him, you should not be coming back Monday talk about Whittington and do nothing. It doesn't matter what Whittington do. Whittington, don't put no expectations on him. If you play him, you play him. If you don't, you don't. But you don't get mad at him what he does. He's a backup. That's the reason why I'm telling y'all, I'm not saying, oh, Whittington, because he may come in the game and he may go get 100 yards or he may get 40 yards. It doesn't matter either way. You got to feel comfortable playing Whittington. I just don't think it's a replacement like a running back. I don't think you just put Whittington in for Puka and you assume that he's going to get 8 targets. I would assume that Devontae have like 14 targets and Kyron Williams have a couple more catches and Whittington probably only get 5 or 6 targets. Kamua says, should I drop Michael Carter for Bam Knight? Yeah, for a touchdown upside. You only picking up Bam for a green zone touch for a touchdown. Michael Carter's going to catch more passes, so you got to think about the game script. I think Arizona gets down there and scores a touchdown, and maybe they let Bam get it in. I can see that happen. I can see Michael Carter getting 3 or 4 catches, but the touchdown is what can get you there quicker, can get you to a good floor. So yeah, I guess it's okay. To me, it's kind of a lateral move, but I don't know what you're going through. I think you're just trying to figure out which player is the best to play. I don't know, but I would go with Bam for the touchdown upside. Moore says, I really like Dart too. Yes, sir. Yankee says, trade Rico for Brian Thomas Jr. Yes, I like that trade. Yes, sir. If you need a wide receiver, you're going to start Brian Thomas. Yankee says, lost Malik and Ibuka, have Zay, who is not producing, and need a frontline wide receiver. Yes. Jimmy says, I like Mark. Seattle gives up the most receptions and receiving yards to running backs in the league. Great information, Jimmy's. Another super chat from my homie, the one and only Doomsday Corner Sports. Guys, go follow his channel right now. Click on his name. Go to his channel. He says, what up, TD? What's up, bruh? What's going on with you? Appreciate the super chat, bruh. Jay Moore says, hopefully Woody can deliver, unlike Henny from last week. I know. And I apologize to anybody that I told him to play Trey Hendo. I won't tell you to play him for a while. He almost got to get he's got to be the only one healthy. And then I still might not tell you to play him. It's just, they weird. You know what? People like that coach. I can't think of his name right now. He was a good player. He's tough-minded, but I don't like the way he treats his running backs. I just don't. Michael King says, what up, bro? The real Don here from your leagues. Yes, sir, Mike King. Mike Lowry. Bro, you've been following me a long time now. Ganja King says, Flacco getting knocked out by halftime. He could. Jake Browning will be in there again. NY says, I'm thinking of starting Rodgers, but Cincinnati has the worst run D in the league. What are the chances of Pitt run more than pass? It doesn't matter. It's about the touchdowns. It's about feeling secure with somebody. Ain't no damn way that they're going to run it every single time and Aaron Rodgers have 140 yards on some Tim Tebow type stuff. 140 yards with no touchdowns. And they ran, and Jalen Warren got 130, and Gainwell got 90. I don't think that's happening. I think one of the running backs could get off, but Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 2 touchdowns. I would bet on that. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm guaranteeing it, but I would bet on it. Little one, okay. Large Turkey says Chase Brown or Woody Marks. I'm going with Woody Marks, Large Turkey. Jay Moore says Chuba should be back with Rico getting a bulk of the carries. Yep. Jimmy says Kamara is no longer the running back I used to know. Come on now. He's going the way of Austin Eckler. Start Vidal or any other younger running backs that are stepping up. Brother, I love that. That's why I said I'm not playing Kamara. That's not the back that I know. When he didn't want to get traded, I already knew it was over. I knew it was over then. Jay Moore says, I like the Panthers. Can't wait to Coca return. Right. And also, Jimmy Horn is helping them out, too. They've been winning ever since they started Jimmy Horn. Sports Dogs to TD100. I was down 31 points, and Drake London saved my ass along with 2 points from the Bills kicker. I picked up Kamani Vidal on waivers. Great job. CK says Saquon or Scat rest of the season. I'm going to go with Saquon, man. I ain't going to disrespect Saquon like that. But Scat is okay. It's closer than what the experts think. Senor Rohor with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, bruh. He says, what's your thoughts on Christian Watson? Bruh, I think he's a stash. You just got to stash him. I don't think you will ever really be able to play Christian Watson unless 2 of these guys go down. So, man, I'm only wide receiver that I'm willing to play over Dobbs is Matthew Golden. Other than that, I'm going to have to wait to another quadrant and see another pattern. I don't know any other patterns other than to play Matthew Golden right now. Real quick, I'm going to get Jay Moore at the bottom. He says, do you play point projections any mind? A little bit. A little bit. Let me give you a ratio out of 100%. 25%. 25%. To me, the biggest majority of what I take in to mind when I'm making my decisions is the player ability and the coaches, what the coaches think of them. That's what I bank on. The player ability, and does the coaches believe in that same ability? That tells me to go to a player. J-Mo, they talked about him all off season. They gave him the money. He's fast. I saw him in college. I'm going to J-Mo. That's how I really make my decision. The projections doesn't matter to me. Sometimes the projections are a week behind because they only can project what they can. J Moore says, I think Otten scores a touchdown. Me too. I'm betting on that too. Hennessy Black says, Steelers DST at Bengals or Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers versus the Jets. I'm going with the Panthers versus the Jets. Shaq Graham says, Scary Terry or J-Mo. I'm going with J-Mo because I'm worried about Scary Terry injury. I know he might be practicing, but I'm worried about him. I'm going with J-Mo. Big Ham says 14-team league. I have Drake May. Should I drop Justin Fields? Yeah, why not? I mean, as long as you can find another quarterback on a bye week, I wouldn't worry about Justin Fields. Let somebody else have that problem. That's a problem, bro. Not saying he's not a good player. I just think that comes with problems. You know, like, you know how you buy like say you buy like a $500,000 car. Like you get a new Lamborghini. It costs you $500,000. Don't you know when that damn car, like computer start acting up, that you're gonna have to pay $7,000 or $8,000 just to get the damn computer fixed? So that's problems. Even though it's fast and it looks good, it's a lot of problems. You better have that residual money. You better be willing to stand Justin Fields going for 5 points. Jelly Long says Texas Toast needs a NFL sponsor. Big Will says, I feel like these ESPN projections are misleading. Every week I weigh the projections versus the player, boom or bust. Nah, don't pay no attention to that, bro. I hate to tell you, I would never tell you just to believe in what I'm telling you. But bro, I know the boom players. I watch the game like that. I watch it. I play the game. My mind works through big plays and underneath. So don't worry about them projections. They are somewhat within a 5-point range or correct. Really good, almost not perfect, but I'm saying it was really good projections. But that doesn't make my starting sets tell me what to do. Hennessy Black says Mark's going to get 15 to 17 points. I believe that too, Hennessy. Flying A says, would you trade George Pickens and Rashad White for Nico and Rasheed Rice? Rasheed Rice? Would you trade George Pickens and Rashad White for Nico Collins? Yes, I think Nico with Rashad White being a backup once Bucky comes back, I like the Nico and right side. Irv Gotti, what's up, bro? I had a friend we used to call Irv Gotti. He passed away, man. He was younger than me, guys. A good friend. He said, what you think about the Steelers-Bengals game? I like Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. Those are my stars of the week. Mike King says, thanks, bro. Anytime. You good, Irv Gotti. I got you. D-Tate says, what up, bro? Would you trade Nico for Judkins? My running backs are Henderson, K9, Ja'Cory Crosby, Mason, and wide receivers are Nico, London, and Pickens and Odunze. Would you trade Nico? Why do you need to trade Nico for Judkins? You got Henderson. Okay, Henderson and K9. You only got Ja'Cory. Yeah, you do. Yes, I would do that. Yeah, because you got plenty. You got London and then Doomsday. And, you know, so and you got Pickens. So you need running back. K9 and Hendo ain't doing nothing. Not enough. Jacory's going to be fine. Mason ain't doing enough. So yes, I would do that. Good trade. Rome says, what up? I got Allen on the bye. Stream Flacco, Penix, or Rodgers. I'm streaming for Rodgers. I'm streaming Rodgers. Arthur, what's up, bruh? What's up, bruh? That's my homie right there. Show big support to the channel. He says, what up, TD? William Ellis says, should I trade Adams for A.J. Brown? If you got a good record, I'll say yeah, and you can wait for the boom to come from AJ. If you got a good record. If you don't, I wouldn't do it. Because you need to, Adams is going to help you get this win this week. Conscious says, I need to decide on Fields versus Carolina or Dart at Denver. Bruh, I know, and you smart enough to make your own. Okay. I'm going to make sure I stay. Okay. So, I'm going to say Dart. I'm going to say Dart. NY says, there is no sign that Harvey's role will grow with Dobbins healthy and running well unless the injury opens the lane for opportunity. And that's what we talking about, bro. So listen, the only information that I got to go against Dobbins is it's not that he sucks. He's not that good. The coaches just love him. No, it's that he's never played a 17-game season. So that makes me want to hold on to Harvey. That's the only thing. So I agree with you. Conscious says, come on, 50 likes. Yes, let's get the likes up, fellas. Starton says, y'all like volleyball? Some of them girls really smack the ball. Yes. Yes, I enjoy watching the volleyball games. Nino says, we worried about Hendo or still just waiting on the second half? We still got to wait, man. You can't drop him. He's the backup. No more Antonio Gibson. So you got to hold on to Hendo almost the whole season. You can never put him on waivers unless it's the last game, the championship game of the season. Nino said, was thinking about sending Pacheco for Hendo. Yeah, that's fine. To go stash Hendo, yes. KJ says, what's good, bro? Should I drop Jennings for Luther Burton? Yes. With all the injuries. Yankee says, currently have Bourne as my wide receiver too. Best if I pick up someone from Butte, Cup, Trey Tucker, or Sterling. I would pick up Butte. But I would play Bourne if Jennings doesn't play over Butte. I would play Bourne, even with Purdy, if Jennings doesn't play. We just can't play Bourne with Jennings and Pearsall both out there. That's the only way you can't play him. He's been playing well enough with one of them out that you can play him now. Mr. Sleeper says, what's up, TD? Judkins, Vidal, or Doomsday for the flex spot? Ooh, that's rough. I'm going to go with a Doomsday. Bro. All these guys can score different points, but I know Doomsday is the #1 wide receiver for Caleb Williams. They throw the ball a lot. That's why I'm telling you go to Doomsday. Vidal, Haskins is still there. Not saying he's going to take a score from Vidal, but it's possible. Judkins is really good, but Cleveland could struggle. They still got a rookie quarterback starting. So I'm going to go with a Doomsday. Kamua says, start Jalen Hurts or Drake May. I'm going with Drake May now at this point in time. I'm going with Drake May. NY says, J-Mo time is now. They just took another L. They play the Bucks. They will sling the rock. Come on, NY. Breach. Robert says, my cat's name is Fishbone. Okay. Do y'all remember? That's the age group. That's age group, right? Adam says, shout out to that show with the mannequin in the store that came alive at night. I don't know what that means, bro. Oh, that came alive at night. To that show. What was that? Is that the Big Comfy Couch? That might be the Big Comfy Couch. KJ says, Bo Nix or Sam Darnold. I'm gonna go with Bo Nix, but it's very, very close. It's tomato, bro. You could go anyone. Sam Darnold's been hot, so I don't want to disrespect Sam Darnold. He's been on fire, pause. So I'm gonna go with Bo Nix. I think the matchup is a little bit better than Sam Darnold going against the Houston Texans on a bye week with a great defense. Big Will says, dudes are stingy with trades in my league. Decent trade offers, and they still scared to deal, but are quick to drop players on the waiver. I'm telling you, man. Hey, I'm the same way, man. I don't do a lot of deals because I pick really good. So people could say the same thing about me, Big Will, but I get it. RJ says, best kickers of the week. Bruh, I will go with Fairy Bomb right now, but I'm not really great, man. I guess on kickers. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I got no science. I guess on kickers. Joey says, what are your chances Chase sits the last 2 to 3 games due to having a bad record? No, because he need to get that money. He got bonus money. He's not going to sit. He's not going to sit. I don't believe so. It's possible, but I don't believe so. Kale says, pick up Luther Burton. Yes, sir. Colepack says, is Puka going to sit out the rest of the 2 weeks with the upcoming bye week? I believe so, sir. Kale says, would you drop Rondell Robinson for Luther Burton Jr.? Yes, I would. King Justin said, you need someone to tell you that's a good team. You need someone to tell you that's a good team. I don't know what that means, King Justin. I forgot from earlier. Adam McQuire says, I traded away Rice last week. Only I have Nico and Amara last week. Only I have Nico and Amara as wide receivers. Okay. Gail says, blessing TDs. Let's get this dub this week. Yes, sir. King Justin says, Stevie Wonder can see that's a good team unless you just want TD's validation. Right. Okay, I see what you're saying, King. Sage says, Bucky is injured, so I'm forced to play Chase Brown. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, Sage. You got to do what you got to do. That's how life happens. I also have Michael Carter on the bench and Tony Pollard. Should I start one of them instead? Should you start Michael Carter or Tony Pollard? No, I would go ahead and play Chase Brown over Tony Pollard with knowing that Tajay Spears is back. And then you also got Bam taking carries from Michael Carter. I would go ahead and play Chase Brown. Gary the Snail says, Waller or Kelsey? I'm going with Kelsey. Michael White said, is Whittington good pickup this week with Puka being out? Man, he's just another guy. Lower your expectations. Jay Moore says, Burden playable with Moore in the mix. No. I don't want to play him into Moore. Something happens to Moore. That ain't working. Okay. Very says, are you that guy that talks about being Jensen says, yo, he says, am I dumb? I'm weak at running back, have Pollard, Kamara, and they both underperform. Trading the CD for Judkins and Devontae, worth it? I'm stacked at wide receivers. For Judkins, CD for Judkins, and Devontae, is that Devontae Smith? Oh, for Judkins and Devontae. No, that's not crazy. I would try to get something a little better, but hey, who am I? I think it's fine. I think it's solid. It's a B trade. Doomsday says, I have a chance to pick up Christian Watson if I let Troy Franklin go. What you think? I will hold on to Troy Franklin. Doomsday. King Justice says, TD, you gotta turn the underwear inside out. You crazy. I feel you, bro. Oh, that boy is crazy. King Justin crazy. Dodge Gaming says, Kenneth Walker, Woody Marks, or Tony Pollard at the flex. I'm going with Woody Marks over Kenneth Walker and Tony Pollard. Colepack says, Wan'Dale Robinson or Golden or Trey Tucker. I'm going with Matthew Golden. Duncan Petrelli says, trade away Algier for Pacheco or no? Yes, I would trade away Algier for Pacheco. Yes, Pacheco will be fine. He would give you a nice floor of 10 points or better. Kevin Peck says, I got off of Puka Nacua and Breach Hall for Rasheed Rice and Kyron Williams. Should I take the offer? If you can withstand Puka being out for 3 weeks, I say yeah. If you can't, because Puka is what I'm trying to get for you. Because Puka going to take your team to a whole nother level. But if you can't wait for Puka, if you don't have a great record, I say no. But if you have a great record and you can wait for Puka and you cool with that, I would wait for Puka and I would make the trade. Memphis says, in a super flex, what two do I start? Love, Knicks, and Dart. I'm going with Dart and Love. I'm going with Dart and Love. Tristan says, I traded Walker for Pickens. No, that's a L. I mean, that's a W. That's a great job. You got off that Walker and you got Pickens? Yes, sir. Chuffy says, Chuff Me says, Chuff My. I don't know how you pronounce it. He says, start Swift, Sutton, or Olave half PPR. I'm starting Swift. Jay Moore said, do you... okay, we did that one already. Cole Enjoyer says, should I trade for Hampton because of the playoff schedule? Nah, I don't know. You don't know how healthy Hampton's going to be, if he's going to be on fire at that time. So I don't know if that's the guy that you want to do for the fourth quadrant. Juan Marino says, yo, bro, I have Cook and Gibbs as my RBs. I do too. But I feel like I need more wide receivers. Should I trade one of them running backs for a top wide receiver? My current wide receivers are Ladd and JSN. No, you hold on to JSN and let Ladd develop in your squad. You good. Keep your team the way it is. Chef Boy says, bro, a lot of you male fans have a huge crush on you. Can you blow us a kiss? Stop it, bro. Stop it. Jay Moore says, let's talk Drake May must start moving forward. Yes. Art Hip Hop says, bruh, yes, sir. NY says, do you think about the Raiders making a trade for Sanders based on how Geno is playing? I hope so. I hope somebody make a trade and start him. Sport Dog said, TD100, is it time to drop Kamara? No, do not drop Kamara. I could pick up Ingram and Gaddison or Taylor. No, we're not dropping no Kamara. Don't worry about that. You good. Hold on to the Kamara. Rome says, is DJ Moore droppable at this point? Yes. Depends on what you need. Yes or no. Just depend on your team. If you already got a good record, you front loaded, you can drop DJ Moore or try to trade him. Try to give him away pennies on the dollar if you're going to get rid of him. Jay Moore says, should I trade Golden for Brian Thomas Jr.? Yes. If that's who you're talking about. KJ says, Jacoby Myers' game status just changed to questionable. Yeah, he getting traded soon, then back to perfect health. You know it. Chris says, ESPN projects the Browns will select another Oregon quarterback, Dante Moore, with the number 3 overall pick. Dante Moore, they don't want Shadur as the face of the franchise. Yes, and that's on them, because I'm going to tell you something. This is what they know. If they get rid of Shadur and he balls out, they will burn that city down. Because Cleveland is an African-American town. Like, it ain't a pure African-American town, but it's a lot of African-Americans in Cleveland. So if they do that to Shadur and he ends up playing well somewhere else, like a Baker Mayfield or a Daniel Jones, they will burn that city down. And I don't mean that literally, but I mean that figuratively. Senor says, Giants just signed Juice Wells to practice squad. You think he's a good stat since he used to play with Dart? You can. If you in a dynasty league, redraft, I wouldn't do it. Kamuna says, play Michael Carter or Pollard. I probably would play Tony Pollard. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all for staying for the whole video. Y'all guys be safe. Peace.